Hi all and welcome to a new video. Today we are going to go over each faction's best and worst looking minis. Star Wars Legion is an amazing game and most of its model range is a near perfect representation of the characters or units. There is going to be a bias here, and my least favorite models may be a little controversial. Theme matters just as much as a bad model, and posing also comes into play as well. Due to having to pick one from each army, some genuinely good looking models have been put as worst. That does not mean they're bad models, just they're the worst in the entire range. Kinda sucks that Legion has so many good ranges, but let's jump right into this. Starting with the worst looking model in the Shadow Collective's repertoire are the Swoop bike riders. This is purely based on how it looks, as in my opinion they don't really fit the theme of the army being all the mercenaries and stuff. It is obvious these are mercenaries. However, most of the rest of the army are pikes or Black Sun, or Mandalorians, and then you have two generic mercenary swoop bike riders. I understand why you can take them, I understand why they exist. I just don't think they perfectly fit what it is the Shadow Collective represents. They are beautiful looking models, however, I do have to say that. Moving on to the Republic, this is gonna be the one that I dislike putting here the least. I think their worst mini is Padme Amidala. This one I dislike for a super specific reason, and that is it looks a lot like her Clone Wars model, way more than her live action. I think it does not fit as well into the army as it could have with a slightly better design. Most of the Republic makes it clear that this is the live action designs. Look at Anakin, Obi-Wan, etc., Yoda even, and then you have Padme who looks straight out of the Clone Wars. I love her rules, I just wish she had a slightly better looking model and fit with everything else. That being said, she does look amazing. All the models here look amazing, except for some I actually don't like coming up. The worst in the CIS is the Commando droids, and in doing research for this, I was surprised to find out I was not the only one who thought this. I love every model the Separatists have, including this one. I just don't like how static and same feeling a Commando unit looks, and I did have to change some of mine while building. Now, I understand that the B1s all kind of look the same, the Droidicas and B2s all kind of look the same, but I'm more okay with that because they are kind of just more static and samey. But all of our exposure to the Commando droids just show how they move faster in more unique ways, are more flexible, do a lot of jumps, a lot of kicks, a lot of punches, and are just, all in all, a really threatening unit. And I don't think these models properly represent just how big of a threat the Commando droids are. That is why I have put them as the worst. They don't look bad. They actually look almost perfect as adaptations of Clone Wars into Legion, but their posing does not reflect what they can do. And in my opinion, the Empire's worst model, General Veers. The Empire has a really solid model range, and Veers just looks a little off among them. His stance is not the best, and the proportions look a little off. The only other one in competition for this was maybe the old Commander Vader, because I didn't like how thick the lightsaber looked, but the rest of him looks amazing. In reality, this is also nitpicking a bit, but Veers he does not represent what Veers is to me, and he just does not look perfect. He would require some reposing to look amazing, and in general, he's just kind of okay. And going into the Rebels, we have a speed round here for 3 in a row. I'm sorry, Rebels fans, I love a lot of your models, but some are just old and don't look perfect. To start off with is Han Solo. I do not think the proportions and clothes and the face in general look right. Even when professionally painted, it's just a little off and does not capture that Harrison Ford Han Solo look. If you showed this to me without the iconic gun, I would believe it was just a generic Rebel officer. The X-34 LandSpeeder. This is very much a personal preference, but taking a LandSpeeder seen once in Episode 4, and probably other times actually as Easter eggs and everywhere around, you know how Star Wars is, and making it the Rebel tank is a really poor choice. I think there are better things they could have chosen for a more Rebel fast-moving, kind of almost tankish type vehicle, but the Rebels don't have that still, and it's one of their biggest weak points, is that the best thing they have is their transport bus and this. And there are so many other cool, different alternate or EU things that they've pulled from for clone models and for other models, but Rebel models aren't getting that love, and this really just shows how it's kind of in my opinion, dragging for anything they can find. And the final in the speed round is the original Luke Skywalker. This figure has not aged well. A better version has come out, however the bendy lightsaber, which is fixed for this photo, and weird face proportions and body proportions just don't look right to me. And now going into the best, and we'll go into this in reverse order, is Luke Skywalker. The limited edition Luke Skywalker is amazing, and it is criminal to keep it as a limited edition. I love it so much. It is a perfect representation of Luke, and in my opinion, one of Legion's best character models, period. It looks fantastic. The proportions are perfect. The lightsaber is so great and amazing on a model this size. They finally got it. They finally did it. It is one of the best looking Rebel minis out there, but it's limited edition, which means you can't really get it for cheaper than like, what, 50, 70 bucks on eBay if you're lucky? Good luck to your hunting. And starting with the Empire now, I did say it was going to be a bit biased. I love the TX-225. It perfectly captures and represents a rarely seen vehicle. The details are fantastic and add so much to the model. This is rarely ever seen. It was in Rogue One a bit, maybe in some of The Mandalorian. I can't remember seeing it, but it probably is there somewhere. And it just looks perfect. It is an amazing Empire tank that just, it looks so good. The AT-ST is more iconic, but I love this model in specifically because it represents something that is so rarely seen so perfectly. You can tell the people who make designs for Legion love Star Wars because they took something that barely anyone knew about and made it something amazing and fantastic and put so much love and effort behind it. Models like this are what make me love wargaming, when you can just see the designer's passion oozing out into everything they're doing. You're probably starting to see the trend in my favorite models right now, even though I think this is the last tank I put on here. The AAT is a perfect model. It makes the Separatist range whole. It is easy to build, paint, and make look fantastic with minimal effort. The size gives an amazing presence on any table. This model is everything I wanted, and it is the entire reason I started collecting Star Wars Legion, because I wanted to own this model. It is amazing, it's perfect, it's a representation of one of my favorite tank designs ever. There is so much you can do with it. I love it. Going back to the Republic, we have Commander Cody. Cody is a personal favorite clone of mine, and this model is near perfect. Whether in Phase 1 or 2 armor, Cody has a presence that scratches an itch I never knew I had. This model made me want to collect Republic, but one of my friends already does, and he's still building it, and so we can't play yet, but I really, really want to collect Republic and build up a Legion with Cody and Obi-Wan and all the different tanks and paint that yellowish orange and struggle with it, but still love it in the end because, oh my goodness, these models are amazing. Waxer and Boyle are just interestingly posed clones, but that Phase 1 Cody and that Phase 2 Cody just get so many memories from Clone Wars, and for some reason him being my favorite commander, even though he's barely if ever seen, and oh my goodness, it's amazing. The only thing that would make me start a Republic army faster is if Pawns and Mace Windu got minis and rules. That would make me start it right now. And wrapping back around to the Shadow Collective is what I think the best mini in the whole range is, Darth Maul. For the Shadow Collective, I love all the models. It was between this and the Mandalorians, actually. But Maul holds a special place in my heart. He has 2 amazing sabers, a dynamic pose, and has presence on the table. When I discovered the Shadow Collective was in Legion, I knew I had to play it. And, well, here I am now, making a YouTube video about it on a YouTube channel that's somehow really successful. Which, by the way, thanks to all the subscribers listening. And if you have enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and it keeps me going. Now, for the final thoughts on all this, it's going to be kind of short. All of Legion's models are amazing. Even the ones in the worst look good more often than not. Unlike in 40k, or AOS, or Conquest, there are really no bad-looking minis in Legion. There are some that aren't perfect, and there are some that could use work, but there's nothing that's terrible or horrible, or I look at and go, that's just terrible, you can't put that on the table, or you painting that's gotta be a pain, that kind of stuff. It was very difficult calling some of these models bad, as, they're not really. But that doesn't mean some of you have different opinions than me. Please leave a comment and let me know what you think the best and worst looking minis are. I know a lot of this video is me saying these good looking models look bad actually, haha. But that wasn't the point. The point was just to highlight what I think some minis could do if a little bit more love was given to them. Or, options that need to be put in. That's really about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry it wasn't more clickbaity, dynamic, oh my goodness, all of these are good or terrible. But in general, I like taking a measured approach to things, and I found it hard to hate these models. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Enjoy the weekend all, and see you next time.